we wanted to start our time today just with a few acknowledgments and recognitions for people who have been a part of Loving Houston. So first, I want to acknowledge every single church representative who is here today, every pastor, every staff person, lay leader, and volunteer who is loving the children, teachers, and staff in your local school. It's been a hard year for schools and for churches, so we just want to thank you for being a light. We'll hear from the Lamar High School Partnership today. It's a partnership with several churches and amazing nonprofits doing amazing things. But I know that there are also several of you who are in churches of 15, 20, 75 people who are also doing such valuable and amazing things with the unique resources and gifts God has given you. So thank you. Thanks also to every school and school district leader who is here. You all have done so much in a world that has been turned upside down these past 2 years. So thank you for continuing to love the kids and the families on your campuses and in your districts. Thanks also to everyone who's invested in Loving Houston financially so that we can continue convening free gatherings like this one, supporting awesome existing church school partnerships and starting new partnerships. We are continuously receiving requests from schools for church partners. So thank you for making this all possible. I also want to thank our staff and our district coordinators who are on the ground making these connections. The majority of our team actually started in their roles during the pandemic, so it has been amazing to see them adapt and flex, even with so many other things going on in their lives. Every time I talk with them one-on-one or in our weekly meetings, I am reminded of their unique gifts and skills and how fortunate we are at Loving Houston to have the team we have. So thank all staff and district coordinators. And speaking of our team, thanks also to our official advisors who provide unique and much needed expertise on a variety of subjects whenever the need arises. So here is a list of our awesome advisors. And then finally, I want to thank our board members. They are listed and pictured here. Our board members meet once a quarter all together as a board. And then each board member is also part of one or two committees that dives deeper into the very practical aspects of the organization. If y'all know anyone who works in a nonprofit, you may have heard horror stories where the board and the staff don't get along. So I am so grateful that our Loving Houston board is a blessing to work with. They're encouraging, they're supportive, but they also don't let us get away with just being mediocre, which I really appreciate. They're constantly asking good questions, giving ideas and suggestions about how we can be better to reach more people and do more good. Kelly Handel has been our board chair this year, and she has really exemplified these characteristics. So it's been such a blessing working with her. Thank you, Kelly. And I'm looking forward to having Terry Wang as our board chair in 2022. She is already so enthusiastic with great ideas and recommendations as well. Also in 2022, we're excited to be adding 3 new board members. Dr. Lawrence Scott is a lead pastor at Harvest Point Fellowship Church in Pearland. Dr. Jenny McGowan is the superintendent of Klein ISD. And Pastor Kevin Alvarez is the senior pastor at Long Point Baptist Church in the Spring Branch area. They each have such valuable, relevant expertise, so we're so excited to have them join our board in January. Sadly, we do have 2 board members whose board terms are expiring at the end of this year. For some reason, the one picture I had of Dave was from his wedding, so I found a matching one of Tom on his wedding day as well, both looking very dapper. Dr. Dave Peterson and Dr. Tom Billings have been with Loving Houston since the very beginning. Back in 2013, David Weekly convened a group of leaders, including Dave and Tom, to see what they could do together to help churches to love Houston. At the time, Tom was the executive director of Union Baptist Association, and UBA had just launched an initiative called Loving Houston to love several neighborhoods in Houston in tangible ways. When David Weekly convened this group of leaders, UBA was gracious enough to transfer the name Loving Houston to this initiative, where we are continuing to help churches love Houston, just now specifically by connecting churches and schools in collaborative serving partnerships. Dave Peterson was our very first board chair. He was a part of the HEB Foundation and the Robert and Janice McNair Foundation at the time. And he has been instrumental in connecting us with folks all across the city, putting his name and reputation on the line to back our organization. If any of y'all have had the chance to talk with Dave or Tom for any amount of time, you'll notice that they are both so unassuming and humble, and yet so wise. Loving Houston is what it is today in large part because of the humility, perseverance, and visionary leadership of Dr. Dave Peterson and Dr. Tom Billings. I'm sad that they won't officially be on our board next year, but I'm very grateful that they've both agreed to stay on in advisory roles so that all of us can continue to benefit from their wisdom. So please join me in acknowledging everyone I've mentioned today, but also in recognizing Dave and Tom as our 2021 Champions of Children.